Hey everyone, it's Ryan Howe with Small Business News. It's the show where I bring you just some of the information I share with my clients every single day. I'm a business coach out of West Michigan and around the country, and I hope to earn your subscription today. So with that, let's get into this here. We are going to be talking about quiet quitting, folks. It's making its way back into the headlines again, and it's still a thing for various reasons. Again, this is from Forbes. Links to the articles we're going to talk about today are going to be in the description in that general area, so be sure to check those out. And like I said, I hope I earn your subscription today. This is from Kate. We'll just call her Kate W. I'm going to tear up her name no matter what. Now, quiet quitting, for those that don't know, is doing the basic requirements of a job without putting in extra effort to go above and beyond the role. On the employee side, that's referred to as doing exactly what you're paying me to do in my job description. With this, it's seen as a negative, and I've never seen quiet quitting as a negative. Never once in my career did I ever see somebody who just wanted to come in and do exactly what their job description say is a bad thing. Okay, that's what this person wants to do. So we're going to make sure that they have plenty of work, and we're going to keep them fully employed. And then folks that wanted to do more, there's opportunities for development. So the way I always looked at it, it was never really seen as a bad thing. Now, overperforming is not the bare minimum. Now, companies continuously seek out high-performing talent to help their organization thrive. While driven professionals should be applauded for their efforts, demanding that all perform at an unrealistic high A level is detrimental to morale. Absolutely. The up or out meaning, we got to constantly moving up or you're going to be let go, those type of mentalities. There is a necessity to have like a bench, to where you have a talent pipeline that's being developed. That is important, but not everybody falls into that. It's well outside of a Pareto's principle, that 80-20 rule. Now, organizations setting unfeasible goals lead staff to believe that simply doing their job isn't good enough. Workers in these cultures will soon be burnt out and choose to leave or quiet quit. And that's usually what ends up happening. It's a toxic work environment where there's a mismatch between what the employer has put down on paper, where they say what we need done, versus what the employee who is hired on believes the work should be for their job. And that's where anytime you get a job mismatch on, that's where burnout starts happening. That's where you get people who are not happier in their work. And it's something that I work with my clients on consistently to be aware of. You can tell really quickly when somebody is in a job mismatch, and we want to make sure that we either help them find new work within the company, or we help them move on to their next adventure. It's not fair to anyone. Now, individuals should be encouraged to set achievable targets. They should be acknowledged for both making incremental progress and accomplishing these goals. And this is all 100% correct. Many companies demand a lot from their talent, whether in performance or extracurriculars, such as pitching, recruiting, training, or training other colleagues. While ambitious individuals can choose this approach, it should not be a requirement to keep a job. Absolutely. Again, staff are keenly attuned to the burnt out stage. They choose to quiet quit when an organization's expectations of them do not align with reality. There you go, just like I was talking about. Now, other pieces here. This is the COVID, and we're going to talk about here, was really great in the way that it forced a lot of people to, all of us really, to reassess what's important in our lives. What are we getting out of work? How do we enjoy the work? What are we doing in our off time? Do we want to do X, Y, and Z? And this is exactly one of the things that came out of this. The COVID-19 pandemic demonstrated how our lives and well-being take precedence over business. Employees seek life enrichment, with more than half being open to a 20% pay cut for a better work-life balance, according to Ford. Now, Ford put this out here as something to say, hey, to try to disprove that people were not motivated by money. And when they got the results back on here, they're like, oh, people really just want to be able to live their lives and make enough to get by and make enough to be able to handle their bills and live. Okay, that's interesting. It was a shock across the entire industry. Something I've been working with my teams on for a while, but it was great to get some numbers back on that. Now, disengagement does not always mean a decreased interest in the work. It could indicate an increased desire for a full personal life. Leaders should encourage employees to pursue interests outside of work, as it can boost productivity, a hobby. An individual that is not permitted to adjust their schedule for non-work interests may choose the route of quiet quitting to help level the time between personal and off work. And part of that here is, as I talk to managers and leaders, is that as long as the person is performing at a level, they're doing their job. If they need to make some adjustments to their work schedule for off-duty things, you want to be able to make as many of those adjustments as you can. It just makes everything better. They understand, when their due dates are for their assignments, and just negotiate with them. It's really crazy when you treat them like people and say, hey, you still have to meet this. Your employees understand the importance of that, and they will make sure that it gets done. Now, this is a reaction to a toxic work environment. Quiet quitting trends implies that many organizations currently have a less than ideal work culture. Employees feeling unsupported, unheard, and underappreciated may choose a quiet quit in response to a toxic workplace. Quiet quitting will occur when colleagues don't see a clear channel to voice concerns or needs. And this goes back to what I've talked with my clients about for quite some time, is that when you all of a sudden quiet quitting starts bubbling up and people are not doing extra, what's happening is they do not feel confident enough that, one, that their job will be protected if they voice a concern, but they don't feel confident in you that if they do voice a concern, that you will work with them to find a way to make things work, to meet their concerns that they're currently having. People would rather go quiet and go silent and just work on the bare minimum and just get by than speak up and get talked down to or treated poorly by their management, which is something that they've probably witnessed, which is why they're quiet quitting. That requires more work on your management, clear goals, clear expectations, and make sure that your training is done to a high level before you can start making those adjustments. That stuff, again, if you want to learn more about how I help clients do that, you can go to summitbusinessguys.com, reach out, and we can schedule a call. Now, with that, employees like some aspects of their job. That's true. Businesses should realize while quiet quitting does indicate a level of disengagement, it doesn't mean that employees have fully quit the company. There are aspects of their job they like, with whether it's the money, the people they work with, the leaders, or their role. Like they may just enjoy just the work they're doing. And quiet quitting is an opportunity to better understand what employees want from their companies. Again, just like I said here, organizations noticing an increase in disengagement should conduct focus groups or surveys to figure out what the heck is bringing on that apathy. You'd be surprised how quickly they will tell you truthfully what it is. Now, quiet quitting offers a chance for a company reset. One of the things that I talk with my clients about is if it's been a while since they've worked with their staff to look over the jobs, look over the job responsibilities, work with the management, and just bring everybody together to talk about, hey, how are we doing business here? What changes do you think we should make? What does right look like? And give the people who are in those positions doing the work the opportunity to make the change. And that's one of the things we're talking about with a company reset. You can bring everybody's ideas into the table and make some changes around the edges in the work that people have and shift responsibilities, accountability to areas that make more sense, where before it just became your job for whatever reason. Now, with that, the last bit here before we go, high performers know their value and have no problem seeking new opportunities. 28% of global employees feel ready to move on from their current job. That is always the case. You want to make sure that they have all your support focused there and not on some ancillary tasks that are out there. Because the thing with talent, it's highly mobile. They could leave at any time, find it works somewhere else. They're ready to move on once they see another opportunity. So you want to work with them on that. So yeah, quiet quitting, folks, it's still out there. And again, just what I'd like to recommend, if you are an employee and you are currently quiet quitting, if you haven't had a conversation with your supervisor, your management, to have a discussion about your job description, and the work that you would prefer to be doing, do that. Be open to that. Managers, if you are frustrated because your folks are just doing the bare minimum and no one is stepping up above and beyond, you need to have a conversation with your entire team. Say, okay, what's going on here? What adjustments do we need to make? Because this work that no one's doing still needs to get done. Now, with that, if you're not sure how to have these conversations, not sure where to go, again, it's folks like me that are business coaches, specifically like Pinnacle Business Guides. You can check them out, pinnaclebusinessguides.com, or you can reach out to me at summitbusinessguides.com and we can have a conversation. I can help you learn how to do that. So with that, take care, and I will see you next time.